Hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar. Today, we are going to be talking about things that you should not do to your hair in 2021. Okay, so let's start with an introduction. My name is Oluwatoni Adebisi. I am a natural hair enthusiast, and I have been blogging on the subject for over 3 years now. I started my natural hair journey sometimes in 2013 by transitioning from relaxed hair. I didn't have a magnificent reason or come to any epiphany. I just felt like I didn't like the relaxer. It was preventing my hair from reaching its full potential and discoloring my hair. And I was just tired of it. And during my transitioning, I did a lot of low manipulation and protective hairstyles like twists, braids, various cornrows. I didn't actually cut my ends until the end of 2017 after I started my blog. That was a long time. My hair journey involved a lot of trial and error, mind renewal, and I made it to a state where I am now comfortable in my progress, comfortable with my hair, and I'm finally reaching my hair goals. And I would like for you to do the same. Okay, so before we start, let's have a quick survey, and I would just like you to type in what you are. Are you a new natural? Are you transitioning? Are you an old-time natural? Or what are your goals? Are they length goals, health goals, or are they both? You can put one and two, A or B. So I'm just going to wait for that and then we shall continue. Okay. So as human beings, we are constantly in a state of growth. Who you are now is way different from who you were 10 years ago. You do different things, you dress differently, you associate with the people differently, maybe even eat differently. This change can be attributed largely to us learning, and then when we learn a better way to do things or that something is wrong, we adjust our behavior to one that we feel more comfortable with or one that we know is better for us. Thinking in this same way, some things we may have done to our hair journey needs to change. Just like how we don't do some of the things our parents did to care for our hair when we were younger because we have found a better way. We need to switch some things up because those things need to change and there is a better way available now. So I'm going to ask you to keep an open mind through this session as I'm going to be sharing 5 things that we need to leave behind in 2020. Okay, the first thing is over manipulating your hair. So, over manipulation may come in different forms and for different reasons. It may be because you want to wear a new style to hair. It may be because you want to wear a new style to work every day, or you work out every day and you think it's important to wash your hair after each workout because of sweat. That reason cannot be looked down upon, but it's not exactly the best either. Various forms of other of over manipulation include combing or detangling your hair every day, styling every day, washing too often, too many protein treatments, over moisturizing your hair. And while those practices in themselves are good for your hair, in that your hair needs to be moisturized, your scalp needs to be clean and everything, too much of that is bad. Over manipulation can cause breakage, dryness, or moisture/protein overload, dependent on what form of manipulation you are engaged in. So, how to do better? Set up a hair care regimen so that you have a specified number of times you will manipulate your hair, how often to wash, how often to tangle, deep condition, style. All your hair practices should be accounted for. And with this new practice, you will not do things to your hair just because of feelings or boredom. You would not just say, oh, I think I should, and then maybe you just like, oh, I can't remember the last time I washed my hair, so let me just wash it. Things like that will not happen because now you have something that you can fall back on, a plan, more or less. And this will help you find discipline and it would actually make your natural hair journey more time efficient because now you know what you want to do when you want to do it and then you just go straight to the point, not like thinking, oh, today should I deep condition, should I not deep condition? You already know what you're going to do. And if you need help setting up a hair care regimen, I have a blog post on my blog explaining how to do it for yourself, or you can join the A Drop of Black hair growth program and you'll get a free hair consultation with me and a hair care action plan on signing up. Everybody gets that. So the next thing is not trimming your hair. So I know your hair length goal may seem crazy out of reach and you're trying to save every inch of hair that you can. But not trimming off dead ends and split ends is not the way to go about it. Just to clear the air, trimming your hair will not make it grow longer from your scalp. It doesn't work that way. What trimming does is that it cuts off the dead ends and split ends so they don't split up your hair strand and weaken it further. Because those weakened strands, if they go up, will weaken your hair and break off. So that means if you trim the ends before they travel up and cause damage, then you'll be saved from a lot of breakage. So that means in the long term, you're actually averting breakage and aiding length retention. This is the logic behind trims, and this is why they are good for you. So, how to do better? Set out to trim your hair periodically. Once a quarter, once every 4 months may be good enough, depending on your hair situation. Also, try to keep your ends protected to minimize splitting of ends, as this will mean that you have to cut off fewer amounts of hair. So, we all know, or maybe you may not know, but when your hair is rubbing on your shoulder, rubbing on materials, maybe on the chair, those are the kind of things that cause friction and can cause split ends or breakage. So when your ends are protected and they are up or like in a bun or something like that, so the likelihood of that friction is reduced, and then the likelihood of you getting split ends is also reduced. So now whenever you're having your trim, you don't need to cut off as much hair since you did not have as much split ends as you probably would have had if your ends were all over the place. So also when trimming, don't focus on just making your hair look even. Of course, that is important, especially if your hair is always in straight styles. But instead, trim in smaller sections and make your aim getting the dry, dead, and split ends off. That is the main goal because those are the things that are hampering your hair growth, not if your hair looks even. So you just have to find a balance between both of them. Another thing, if you want to learn about trims, I have a blog post about it, and this topic will be discussed more in depth in my natural hair growth program. So you can sign up to be a part of that by clicking the link in the description. The third is too tight hairstyles. This affects everybody, whether you're natural or not. And the fact is that in the quest of looking for good looking hair, it is very tempting to want to grab every piece of hair and braid it into whatever style, or brush every strand of hair into your puff, or whatever hairstyle you're doing. I had that same temptation today when I was brushing my hair into this style. And tempting as it is, this is actually a practice that we should avoid because too tight hairstyles will chop off your hairline slowly but surely, and then you find yourself with a form of alopecia down the line. Like you see my hair right now, my ends, I didn't use a gel, so it's quite rough, it's quite sticking out. But if I did use a gel and I slicked it as much as I could, there would start to be pressure here, and then in the middle, if I packed it too tight, like I pulled everything and packed it too tight, there'll be tension in the middle of my head and I'll have a headache. That has happened to me quite a couple of times, and it is not fun. It is very, very not fun. So those are one of the things that you should try to avoid. Also, this applies to every type of hairstyle. Like I just talked about the hairstyle I did now. It's not a protective hairstyle like with extensions. So every hairstyle you attempt, styling your hair should not give you headaches. You should be able to sleep comfortably after installing extensions. Don't let that beauty is pain narrative fool you into sabotaging your hair care journey. Beauty may be pain, but beauty should not be that painful. Okay? How to do better. Don't be shy to tell your hairstylist when they are pulling at your brain. Yes, you want the style to look good. You don't want your money to waste. But you need your sanity and your hairline. If you're styling it for yourself, then this part should be easier. If you know you have a tight grip, loosen it a little bit so you can have some wiggle room for your hair. Also, using the rubber band method on sections has been known to reduce tension with installing extensions. Try that hack. If you're a bun or puff type of girl, then don't always pack your hair in the same position. Switch things up with the location or type of style so your hair is not always pulled in one direction, as that can cause tension. Like now, I'm doing a low bun, and then tomorrow I can decide to do a top bun and then side or two puffs or something like that. Just always try to switch things up, because if your hair is constantly pulled in one direction, then that can cause more tension and breakage as time goes on. Number four, ignoring your scalp. The scalp is more or less the soil that our hair springs from. If we have no scalp, we'll be hairless. So this clearly illustrates how important our scalp is. But we tend to ignore our scalp a lot of times in our natural hair practices. If I ask now, how many times do you actually think of your scalp? Like, oh, let me massage it, or let me make sure I don't have some scalp issue or something like that. A lot of times we focus more on moisturizing our hair, we focus on styling, we focus on maybe trims, we focus on doing the big styles or twist styles, having that defined curled look, and then your hair looks shiny and it looks good from afar. But then your scalp, it's another story entirely. So I gave an analogy in my last webinar that would also be linked in the description about how we cannot we can decide not to water the leaves of a tree and it will still grow to an extent. But if we ignore the roots, then the growth will be stunted. So in that same way, if we ignore the soil that our tree, which is hair, grows, and if we don't clean it, if we don't provide nourishment, there will be stunted growth. Have you ever seen a farmer that they just plant a tree, they don't put fertilizer, they don't like do any of those stuff that they do? I'm not a farmer, okay? They don't put fertilizer, they don't water the soil, they don't do anything to the soil, they just plant the tree and then wait until the leaves start. And then when the leaves start, they just pour water on the leaves to make sure the leaves are not looking dusty and shine and stuff. That farmer is going to go bankrupt at some point because those leaves are going to have issues down the line. So we also need to take care of the soil, which is our scalp. And then I'm going to talk about that in the next page, which is how to do better. So clean your scalp regularly, oil your scalp, schedule regular massages. This is also one of the things that will be in your hair care regimen. Schedule regular massages to boost blood control, blood flow, and nourishment supply to your scalp. The blood is the one that has the nourishment. So when there's extra blood flow or when there's optimal blood flow, then there will be more nourishment, and your hair can grow at an optimal phase or optimal stage. So if you have a scalp condition, maybe psoriasis or something like that, get it treated by a professional instead of trying all the DIYs in the world. Those people are professionals for a reason, so they know what to do about it. Even if you can't afford some expensive treatments or something like that, just at least go to your private care physician and just let them know, okay, what can I do? And then they may prescribe something that's over the counter and cheap for you to try, instead of just trying to salvage that home and making it worse over time. Also, eat right, drink water to keep your skin healthy. Yes, the scalp is a part of your skin. So if you're healthy, it will show in your skin and in your scalp. Avoid too tight hairstyles. I've talked about this before. Those things will cause tension on your scalp. Also give your scalp time to breathe after long hairstyles. So if you just did braids or something like that and it was like for a long time, maybe 2 weeks or almost or 1 month, give your scalp time to breathe. Just take out like a 2 day timeline to just let your afro out. Let there be breeze. If you're going to sit down under a fan, just let it be there, and then just give yourself a scalp massage just so your scalp can recharge, because those things pull on your scalp because of their weight, and then that can cause tension. So you need to give your scalp time to relieve. Okay, don't apply heavy creams, butters, or oils to your scalp because they can clog your pores and contribute to build up, and too much build up will cause itchiness or flaking, and that will now mean you have to wash your hair more often. So if on a normal day, based on your lifestyle and everything, you actually would need to only wash your hair once in 2 weeks, But then because you're adding all these heavy creams and oils and everything, now you need to wash your hair every 3 to 4 days. That's a waste of time. Just cut off the heavy butters. That would be easier, right? So the next one is obsessing over lengths. Okay, I know, everybody has done this at some point in time. The beginning of my hair journey actually was more focused on, growing out my relaxed ends. But then after a while, I found myself, when I finally got exposed to the natural hair community, because I wasn't at first, when I finally got that exposure, I found myself looking at these people with long hair, like very full, looking like lions. And then I'm like, so what's wrong with me? And, you know, that's not how it's supposed to be. I feel like the easiest thing to do once you decide to be natural, looking at all the people on YouTube and Instagram with healthy, full, long hair, is to start wondering why your hair doesn't grow that long, or if you're doing enough. And then at the end of the day, you turn what should be a fun process into a frustrating one. While having a head of long hair has been glamorized and it is desirable to most people, it is a waste of time if your long hair is full of weakened split strands or patches of hair fall. The health of your hair should not be compromised because you want to attain length. Health is always more important than length. So stop hopping from one treatment or one hack or one rice water or one juice or something like that. Just stop. Because it made somebody on the internet hair grow 1 inch in 1 week doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. If you're going to try something, stick to it and be consistent. Don't just, okay, I'm trying this one, I'm trying. No, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Okay, so now let's talk about what you can do to be better. So, instead of obsessing over the length of your hair or comparing your hair growth or length retention to that of somebody else, remind yourself that your hair will never be like another person's own. You are unique. Also, your hair will not grow overnight. So stop doing a length check every day or every other day. Enjoy each stage of your hair growth. Love yourself at every stage of your natural hair journey. Focus on being the healthiest version of yourself and keeping your hair at its optimal healthy state in every stage. Because if your goal is to get long hair, like maybe your goal is waist length or something, you're only going to be at this stage once. You're only going to be at this stage once. You're only going to be at this stage once. So enjoy those stages. Enjoy it. Just do your best to enjoy every stage in life that you are at. Like now, I'm going out of hair because a lot of times we're like, oh, when I finally get this job, oh, when I finally graduate from this place, I'll be happy. Enjoy each stage that you are at. Okay, so in my last webinar, I talked a bit more about how to get longer hair without compromising your hair health. We talked about genetics and what role it plays. And if that sounds like something you like, you would also find the link in my description. It's actually part of a playlist called Fro Tales, where I have a lot of hair content. So if you're interested in that, you should also check it out. So let's move on. So, your hair is an extension of who you are, and caring for it should not be a chore. It should be fun. I've made so many friends and I have learned a lot. Some things not even about hair ever since I started my hair journey. And this is why I decided to set up a hair growth program because I realized that a lot of people would benefit from a community and a steady stream of knowledge just like I did. Okay. So, what is a drop of black hair growth program? This is a monthly subscription program that's dedicated to helping you go from where you are on your hair journey to where you want to be. Each member on their first month will get a consultation with me and we will set up the action plan together. I will add members to a private Discord group where you can interact, and every week we will have Zoom meetings where I'll be sharing on a certain topics and there will be Q&A sessions. So we will also have a group Pinterest board, and every quarter we'll give out prizes to members of the squad that have stood out. It would not be based on who has grown the most hair. No, it will be based on who are people who have been real friends in the community, because we know that the natural hair community should uplift and propagate love. One over time, we'll go on challenges together and try out new hair products or practices as a group, and this will build accountability as we look forward to checking in every weekend during our video discussions. And if you see, I said something about trying out new products, so that means as time goes on, I'm going to be reaching out to brands. So if they are interested, they can give us discount codes, and then we'll try out their products so we can help the members of the platform that are trying to look for hair care products that work for them. So this is actually another perk, and there are many more that you can check out in my blog post. So, how can this program help me achieve my natural hair goals? The goal is simple. Knowledge is power, but power can be useless if you don't know how to apply it. And then having a community that encourages you and supports you is also very important in any journey in life. And this is what the program offers: a way to get important hair care and growth related information, knowledge, and advice on how to apply what you've learned to your hair care journey, and a community to work with you as you go from where you are to where you want to be. We will be trying out new things together, going on challenges, we'll be sharing experiences and getting questions answered with facts. Overall, helping each other through our hair care journey while making amazing friendships along the way. So, enrollment opens today, January 2nd, 2021, through the Patreon platform. All you have to do is visit the page and everything is spelled out for you. The link is in the description and the chat box. And let's get started. So, if you have any questions for me, now will be the perfect time to ask. Okay, so I'm just going to get the link and I'm going to share that to you in the chat box. I should have shared that earlier. I know, but then I'm just going to get it real quickly on my phone and type it in while we wait for questions. So, seeing as there are no questions, I have the link in the description and I am always here to answer any questions. You can just send it to my email. So, I believe we are officially done with this webinar. Don't forget to reach out if you have any questions. Find me on Instagram. Subscribe to this page because I plan on doing these webinars once a month. And I will see you guys next time.